This camera sucks. Let's talk about why.
The obsessive DP.
Okay, that was a stupid intro, but wanted to hook your attention. So we've had this camera about 4 months now, so we have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of usage. 15 to 20 commercials have already been shot on this, plus some music videos. So I feel like we've put it through the ringer, and there's a lot of things we've learned. There's a lot of things that we like about it. There's a lot of things that we dislike. If you want to know the advantages over the DSMC2, check out that other video that I'm gonna link below where we talk about the advantages, but we're gonna talk about all the bad stuff in this video. One of the craziest things about this camera is we've sent it in twice in 4 months for repair, twice. This camera, we've sent the helium in once, and we've owned this thing for 5 years. The first annoying thing about this camera is Red did not allow the old accessories to work. So, for instance, we have this side handle and this top handle. Nothing fancy. We're not talking about monitors. We're not talking about, you know, very specific panels like this that don't work on this. Obviously, the old specific panels or the base expander, which has all these ports, won't work. We knew that wasn't gonna work. But something like a handle, literally, they made the spacing different in the 3/8 screws or the 1/4 inch screws so that it won't work. I mean, that tells me one thing. That tells me that they want us to buy all the new accessories for the new camera, which is a handle. Like, that should work on every camera, right? That one annoys me, but it is a handle, so we spent the $800 to get the right handle. And I get that this one's powered. I get that it's gonna have different, you know, electrical inputs. So I kind of understand it, even though I'm annoyed by it. So we ended up buying the new $900 top handle. One of my favorite aspects of this camera is this right here. Woo, that's a good sound. Listen to this one. New media. Not quite the same. I mean, a lot of cameras have that just normal click, but this one was very specific. Woo! This just felt like, this could go through war. Like, and it has, it's been beat up. There's like paint chipped all over it, but I just miss it a little bit. I know it's better, it's smaller in the new camera, but miss it a little bit. So far, there's just been also a lack of accessories on the V-Raptor. I think Tilta just dropped some stuff. But I don't think I've seen anything from Small Rig. But the Komodo, it had a ton of accessories when it came out. I think that the DSMC2 Helium did as well. It's probably partially a supply chain issue, but you know, I've been thinking too, there's just a smaller user base. Like, Komodo's way more entry-level price point than this camera. So I think that's why they're behind, but I mean, we literally have the 2 wing grips on the side, and we have the top handle coming and a monitor, and that's really, accessory-wise, that's all we have so far. That's kind of sad, because you could fully rig this thing out. You could fully rig out the Komodo with multiple manufacturers have cages, and there's really not that many for this one yet, but hopefully that'll change. The V-mounts. Okay, this is a big one. We're getting bigger, you know, we're getting more annoying as we go here, but the V-mounts. I'll show you. Old guy, new guy. Old guy doesn't work anymore. This is a nice V-mount. It has 153 watt hours. This little guy is 98 watt hours. And that's a good amount less than this one. We're talking about 30 minutes to an hour less of power. And this one doesn't even fit. It will not go on. These ports are just too close. Honestly, we're talking about moving the ports over. That does look hilarious though. Look at how big that battery is versus the camera. We're talking about moving the ports over like a ½ an inch, and then you would have enough room for this to go on it. So I really am kind of scratching my head at why they did that, why they forced everyone to buy these small V-mounts that are more expensive and has less watt hour usage on them. I guess it looks more streamlined than it would with a giant V-mount, but I feel like it was a small thing they could have done just to have room for this, you know? I know they were trying to make it small, but it could have been a little bit bigger, and we don't have to buy all new V-mounts. Here's another super annoying one. So on the Helium, we have 2 of these just extra ports, one for sync, one for control. So you can have time code hooked up, and the AC can run the run stop on the camera remotely, and it's just simple. You have 2 ports, 2 uses, 2 ports. What they did with this guy, 1 port. Why? I don't know, but there's 1 port. They could have made room for another port. I mean, there's this space here. It could have gone right here. I don't know why they didn't do it. They do have a breakout box where you can put on the bottom. It's like this blade that allows for like 3 ports here, but it's like a whole system adding onto this camera. Like you have to add all this bulk just to have those ports back when they could have just put it right there and then everyone could have had it from the start. And as far as I know, there isn't just like a breakout cable, because that would fix the problem too. If there's just a breakout cable from this and it's just like a dangling cable and that's like simple. But the fact that you have to build the blade, the red system, like I don't understand that. And then the last piece, the resistance, the thing that really annoys me about this camera, the reason we had to send it in twice for repair is this RF mount, this integrated mount. On all their other cameras, there's a removable PL mount, EF mount, something you could screw in yourself. This is just an RF mount, that's all it is. To get it to PL, to get it to EF, you have to add adapters. And so far, what we've learned is those adapters actually don't adapt very well. There's actually still some wiggle, even though this is supposed to remove that wiggle from the beginning. This never tightened down on the adapter or on the lens. And so there was still wiggle in the lens, which caused a lot of issues. Honestly, there was focus plane issues at one point where the adapter we screwed on actually didn't screw on straight and it wasn't dialed in, it didn't tighten, and so the lenses were drooping. So that's why we had to send it in twice for repair.